what does it mean to write a children's book? What does that actually mean? Well, if you didn't know, children's books are actually stories that are intended for kids ages 0 to 18, anyone who is technically a minor. That's a little shocking to some people. A lot of people assume that children's books are only for the young children, and that is not true. So there are a range of categories, which we are going to talk about here in a little bit, that cover these different age brackets, but each different age bracket has different requirements for what they're expecting to read and what they're wanting to purchase when they go to the bookstore. Now, your story can be nonfiction or fictional and still be considered a children's book. It also could be for the educational market as well as be for entertainment purposes only. It could be something very fun. It could be something hilarious, while it could also be something serious, or it could be something that talks about big issues. What your idea is doesn't matter. It's just knowing whether or not it's suitable for the children's book audience. Then you can choose to write it in any format that makes sense to you, like as a short story, as a magazine article, as a book itself, as poetry, as poems. Again, doesn't matter. We are only going to focus on children's books because that is our focus and that is the medium that we choose to actually create our stories for kids, but you can do it for other sources as well. But while we're on the topic of children's books and what they are, here's what children's books are not. They're not solely a lecture. They do not have to have some huge takeaway, some really big experience that you have to, some value you have to shove down their throat. This is not the Grimm's fairy tales. We do not have to scare kids into obedience anymore. We get to tell stories that are relevant to them, that are something that they want to read, that they will find interesting, and that will hold their attention. And children's books are not just picture books. That is a huge misconception that a lot of new people face when they come to the children's book industry, is assuming that they are all picture books. It's not true. We're going to talk about the categories here coming up, but again, children's books are for ages 0 to 18, so we have a lot of different book types to offer. They're also not typically told from an adult's point of view. Now, an adult's point of view would be someone trying to talk down to someone, trying to over lecture, trying to instill some wisdom or experience, or explaining about an experience from a 30-year-old perspective, from a 25-year-old perspective, and not understanding that that's not where the kid is. You need to approach children's books from the kid's point of view, from something that they're going to want to read. If this is for a 6-year-old, what is a 6-year-old going to learn? What is going to be engaging to them? What is going to be entertaining for them? All of that type of stuff. That's what makes a children's book. That is what's going to make you successful in this market, and that is what people are looking for.